Just finishing it off.
Well, do you know what? It's one of those things. We made these yesterday on the show, Jane, and I love them when they sort of bulge out. And I'm an overfiller anyway, so they sort of go all round, and I love that. But for those of you that want a square storage box, I should possibly have told everyone that there is another way. Hang on, there's a message come through from SJ. I'm just checking it's nothing. Oh, she says we're live. Oh, well, we know that. We know that. We're on that. We know. And so here we are, just snipping away a couple of threads. But look at the difference that makes. So that now will hold absolutely. And that's the difference. There's the same size one there. It just, so if you want that sort of rounded look, then that's fine. You do nothing. Do nothing, Jane. Do nothing. But if you want it to really keep its squareness, I'm going to make that a word. And the same with this. You can see at the front here, this is this size. If you want that, round, that's fine. If you want it to be held as a square, then just nip those tops. And I will just do that. It's just nice to have that option.
Yes,
Jane.
it gives you a variation, doesn't it? Which is lovely.
Because I quite like it like that, you see.
Yes.
I wouldn't bother. But at least then I can show and tell, Jane.
Well,
show and tell. How are you this morning?
I'm really well, thank you. Yes.
Good.
Yes, I am.
So all you do is just literally pinch the top. I'm just going to pop a stitch on the binding, which I'm going to top stitch on it. Well, have top stitch. I didn't on this one. It's the only one I didn't. But if you're top stitching on, it's just an extra couple of stitches. So you won't even notice it, if I'm honest. Shove it under there. Bish bash bosh. I haven't even done this in like a matching stitch. Couple of forward a stitch, back a stitch, forward a stitch. Lock it off, done.
It's finished. Easy.
It's super easy, right? There we go. And then just trim your ends. Right, as a little reminder, Jane, it is the last Friday of the month. How did that happen? This Friday, which means that we have got to pay it forward for you. And I need to apologise and hold my hands up to the fact that the pattern has taken me so much, well, the whole thing has taken me an awful lot longer than I ever thought it would. For the simple reason that I procrastinated.
I think it's one of those things, isn't it? When you've got a lot of different techniques, maybe that you've not always done, or maybe not even done before, right. And you wanted it right. Yeah.
So this is it. So for those of you that are wondering what it is, this is, and you'll be able to make like lots of these, really, because you're going to get a full Natasha Makes scrap bag. Amazing. And you're going to get some of this, you're going to get some pom-pom trim in there, some D-rings in there, some gem things in there, a zip in there. So you've got enough to, make one really comprehensive one. And if you've got stuff in your stash, got a little magnetic clasp there, and then you've got a bit of this, some buttons, have a play, see what else you've got in there. It might be that you've got a floral that you could sort of applique on and have a... It's all in there. It's all in there for you to play with. So the instructions, because everyone's got different stuff, but as soon as you put in a variable like a scrap bag,
yes,
then everyone's going to have different things.
Yeah.
The keys are everybody's got certain things the same. So the pattern that comes with it, that's what's been the delay, is me writing up the pattern. The pattern, please consider, even I'm fiddling with it, it's quite addictive, is a serving suggestion.
Yeah.
Just consider it a serving suggestion and you do your own thing. Basically, all it needs to be are 6.5 inch squares made down to 6 inches that all have something a little bit different, whether it's texture, whether it's that you've got something to play with, or you could put ribbons or whatever. But we'll do this on Friday. It will be a pre-recorded show for the simple reason that my kids have got something on at school. And I want to go and watch.
Well, that's good.
So it will be pre-recorded. And but you can we'll still catch up. It's fine. So that will be Friday show. Jane. This is today's show. Isn't it wonderful?
It's lovely, isn't it?
You have surpassed yourself once again. And this is the Thames Side quilt. Now this came about because we got a whole load of William Morris Thames Side fabric in.
Yes. And because I'm not very good on finding an imaginative name, it just went, it's Thames Side.
It works.
Yeah.
It does what it says on the packet.
Exactly.
We have got these fabrics available either in a kit or by themselves, I believe. Should we have a look?
There's some gorgeous ones.
There are. And I just love now the number of colours of Strawberry Thief that we've had come through, and sizing
Well caught.
as well. Thanks. I don't think anyone noticed. It's fine. Should we actually, talking of people not, should we say hello?
That'd be nice.
Shall we? That would be good, wouldn't it? That would be really good. So we have got with us today, or we've been listening. We've been a bit naughty, haven't we? We've been all over Johnny Depp.
Oh, we'd love to be all over Johnny Depp.
The court case. We're having a little look, see what's going on there. I don't normally get involved in anything like that.
No, it's a bit. Yeah,
It's a bit
like-
weird. But
Yeah.
right, so we have got with us today. Let's have a look, shall we? Who's here? We have got Diane. Good morning, Yvonne. She says morning. Quilt looks fab.
Thank you.
Ali F says good morning, Natasha and Jane. This is one gorgeous quilt this morning from the Stitchy Witch. Yes, it is. And also we've got it in 3 different colourways.
Ooh, yeah.
Our cup runneth over. Morning, Sylve. Morning, Brenda. She says, I made a laundry basket similar to your tubs to keep the top wide open. I stitched a channel like you would for a drawstring and fed through a strip of boning through it. Works treat.
Oh, clever.
Up here for thinking, down there for
Yeah.
dancing. Good on you. Elizabeth says, good for you. Going with the children to school. I know many businesswomen that missed out on such things. So did the children. Hey, look, we've had the dress for Captain Small for this. Like, I cannot. No.
No, you can't miss it.
Freddie is also doing country dancing,
Oh, lovely.
which I also have to see because that would be hilarious. I mean, that would be lovely
Yeah.
to watch. Yeah. Absolutely love that Sunburst quilting. We're going to look at that, aren't we, today?
Yes, we'll do
Yourself?
a bit of how I did it.
Bit show and tell.
Show and tell, yeah.
Morning, Sue. Morning, Julia. Morning, Rona. Morning to your mother. Yes. Morning. Oh, Sue says, I have been riveted. Love court dramas. Do you know what would Judge Judy say? I mean, that's that.
Yeah.
If Judge Judy did that court case, it would have been so different. But I do think
It'd be over by now.
it's all the fun in all the world when it's not happening to you, isn't it? Should we have a look at these fabrics?
Let's.
That one's not a new one, but it's
No,
snuck in.
but we've snuck
We'll
it
have a
into
look.
one of the kits, which is how
Yeah.
it's ended up on the pile.
It's still available, but we have got here. This is your Strawberry Thief, and these are from Morris & Co.
Yes.
So the last ones we had the I want to say Brenda Brackman.
Backman, yeah.
Her imaginations of it. This is your mini Strawberry Thief in brick, but there's a bit of pink in there, which I rather loves a lot.
Yes, it's got a nice bright tone to it, hasn't it? Like
If you
green
have a
as well.
house with quarry tiles,
It would look stunning.
you know, like what I do, Jane.
Mm-hmm. It would look rather lovely.
I know. I've got actually all the cushions in that haul with the quarry tiles are either Tim Holtz or William Morris.
Yeah.
Because the colours just go so well. Now this is what we use. This is the daffodils, isn't it?
Yeah. I just love that because it's quite striking.
It's asking for being sashed somewhere.
Fussy
And it's
cutting and
the blue, isn't it, here?
yeah.
Gorgeous. Just it needs
it's
to
just,
be.
You want to really fussy cut that and make the most of it. It would look lovely in a border as well, where you use it going out like in a stripe, or you could have it in the side borders, long coming down.
Just beautiful.
You could really play with that.
And then you've got your lovely daffodils there with this lovely brick background. Loving that. And then here we start to bring in almost a maroony, but you've continued to have that pink that we had.
They call it chocolate, which actually, it is, because although
Yeah,
it's
it is.
pinky coloured, it does look like chocolate under the background colour.
Which suddenly makes the Strawberry Thief here actually the mixer,
Yes.
the blender,
Yeah.
which is weird, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's a smaller scale
Because-
print and everything.
Because
works.
it brings that terracotta through, or brick colour through to there, but you've got the pink that's in there that isn't in there. So this, I've never considered the Strawberry Thief to be a blender before, but Jane, today it is. Today is the day. Look at the size of these chaps. They've obviously stolen a lot, haven't they? Cheeky Strawberry Thieves. I want to know what colourway this one is.
I think it's
Chocolate again. Yeah.
I love the green on that. It's a real vibrant green. It really...
We put that next to the lime green and it wasn't far off,
No.
was it? It really wasn't. But to have that lovely spring green in there, gorgeous, and of course working so beautifully there as well. This is one of our colourways, I believe, that we have had available. This blended all the greens through because we wanted to use this one as well. I love this one, Jane. Just look at this. This is called a pink and rose blush.
Pink's the flower.
Yeah.
I don't
Beautiful.
think that they're a variation of a rose, and they're not very rose-like, but
It's okay.
don't tell him.
Don't tell anyone. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I'm going to swap them around, Jane,
It's a plan.
so that we can peruse these ones, because this is your Strawberry Thief in yet another colourway. We've got Strawberry Thieves galore. But I mean,
It's
is
just a classic print that,
well,
you know,
it is, isn't it?
You can use it forever, can't you? Do you want me to move
Marine.
these, or you want to leave those there to mix them in?
That's
No.
all right, I'll shove them up the top, Jane. Whee! It's a two-man job sometimes, isn't it, these
Yeah.
fabrics? There we
Especially
go.
when they're big bolts like those.
So this is it in marine. So Strawberry Thief small, but in marine. Now, this colourway, Lush, 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 is your mini seaweed in cream. How beautiful is that?
It's quite a large scale print, so when it's named as mini, you're like,
What?
what's that about? But then you see the full size straw
Yeah.
seaweed and you realise why.
And this is mini pink and rose in marine. How stunning is that? Just gorgeous. They look more like carnations to me.
Yeah.
Um,
I think they're the same family, aren't they? Pinks and carnations.
yeah, so this is the big one.
Yeah, that's seaweed.
So you can
in
see
marine.
how that's been scaled up. And again, in that marine, absolutely beautiful. And you've got this gold that starts to become the common theme, the common element.
Yes.
Can't even say it. And then you've got your greens
Greens
running through
through.
all of those. So we love those together because you always need that lighter tone. Mwah.
Yeah, it's rather
Mwah.
lovely.
Mwah. We heart it VV much. So if you want to get these by the half metre, then please do. If you would like to get them in the kits, Jane's going to have a look at the kits for you in just one moment. And these are the fabrics that were in Jane's quilt. If I get this up here. There we go, Jane. You can start explaining what this was. What was going on here? What were you thinking, Jane?
Well, this is the willow bough, isn't it? This is the willow bough cream, and it's a beautiful, soft, muted blue. And I thought, let's use that as essentially the background colour.
Beautiful.
And this is called apple. It's apple yellow.
Mm.
And that's
But look
quite.
how it's got that
It's got the same
yeah.
sort of like mustardy colour in, which is then brought out with the Strawberry Thief as well.
Gorgeous.
Which is rather lovely. And I thought we could have fun fussy cutting those, pulling out the bird element of that. And then you've got the mini daffodils marine. And again, it was just that I was drawn to the centre stripe on there and wanted to fussy cut that and make the most of it.
Which is what you've done. And
Yeah.
this is in the kit. If you want to get the kit, get the kit. But this is in the kit which did the colourway, this particular colourway. In the kit, of course, you get your plains as well. And I love how you've got that blue that comes through, and then it's got a full stop with the binding with the midnight.
Yeah, with the midnight, yeah.
Beautiful.
I think, did I use midnight or did I use navy? I think
it
that
navy
is
on that
actually.
one?
But
it
yeah,
really?
with yeah, I just wanted.
don't know.
I was going to add another border, and I got the fabric out and I put it against it, and I was like, it doesn't actually need it.
We all went, no!
So that's
Don't
why it's
do
got
it.
quite a narrow border here, because I was doing a narrow border and then I was going to do a wide border. But once I put the narrow border on, I didn't feel it needed anything extra.
No, it
So
just
I
frames
just
it nicely.
Bounded it.
Done.
Bounded it.
Bounded, you did.
Bounded it.
That's your William Morris, and we'll look at those kits in just one moment.
Yes.
We had yesterday some other fabrics come in, which I adore. Actually, they came in the day before, but late.
Yes.
Now,
These are stunning.
you know how we had the linens / canvases yesterday from a new range called Rain, so which is all about owning your
being
own
in
crown.
charge.
Yeah. Now.
Which is rather apt with what's coming up soon next
Well,
weekend.
absolutely, absolutely. And then these came in and they are absolutely gorgeous. They've got bling, they've got colour, they've got everything that I require in a fabric. And
got
Jess, you were saying, were we going to get any more Ruby Star? And I was like, watch this space. Because here it is. So this is Moda, this is Ruby Star Society, and just such beautiful fabrics. We've done them as a fat, because you need all of them, Jane. It's the law, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
we've done them as a fat quarter bundle. Get it now. For some reason, our supplier, I don't remember ordering it, sent us this one, which actually goes so beautifully with this one here. I was like, well, I'm going to keep it.
Yeah.
Because it goes really nicely. Really nicely.
And it's
with
got
your
that
stars.
metallic element to it.
Yeah. So there you can see the stars there. But it's a different designer. But I've kept it. And what I've done is if you get this fat quarter bundle, I'm just going to throw that one in for free.
That's nice of you.
I mean, our supplier didn't throw it in for free. They weren't that nice.
No.
But I will. I'll do that.
Yeah,
if you
'cause
want to
you're
go
nice
for this
like that.
bundle, and I just thought it gives you
So 8 fat quarters.
8 fat quarters. Hang on. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But you're paying for 7.
Nice. Nice, nice, nice.
But just look how beautifully that goes with that.
That's rather stunning fabric.
Isn't it beautiful? Look at that. With all that gold detailing in there.
That would make a rather nice dress.
I mean, all of it.
Just
So-
saying, Karen.
Just saying, Karen. Oh, it's Wednesday. She'll be watching us.
Yeah.
She won't be at Morrison's. It would be. And Karen, if you do want any of these as a dress, just let us know. I don't know if Gemma loaded them individually or only as a bundle. But can I just say,
Just loving this one.
I adore this one. Look at it.
It's got leopards on it.
But you know how we had the
Yes, it
the
mirrors
sand
those
dunes? It mirrors
mountains.
those from yesterday. Just, I'm going to have to do a lot with this. And just look how beautifully, I'm going to put that one down on the bottom, that pulls the pink with that one and how tasty they are together.
Stunning.
I love how we have quite eclectic mixes. We go from classic William Morris to like, oh, bright bling, 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 bling. Give me all the bling and leopards.
Yeah. Well, we
And
all
more
love that.
bling.
And more bling and a lovely deep cerise pink.
Right. But
Got a crown.
I know. And if you have, like I have in your life, someone who's desperate to be a princess.
Weren't we all at 3?
Yes.
Actually,
I mean, some
think I
people
wanted
still
to
at
be an
30.
Indian, actually.
Oh, did you?
Like cowboys and Indians.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to be.
Well, you could suck a feather in it. You'd be
You
fine,
could have
wouldn't you?
done, yeah.
But look at this colour, Jane. Look, 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 look. And look how beautifully all of these play together. Because you've got the
yellow
blues,
and
the yellows.
pink in there. It's beautiful.
But
Really
then-
stunning.
And of course, if you buy 2, we'll cut it as a half metre. If you
Yeah.
buy 3, we'll cut it as 3/4 metre. If you buy 4, we'll cut it as a full metre.
Yeah, we'll do it in continuous because we haven't cut
Because
them
we
yet.
do that. And that's how... Oh, look at this one. Love, 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 love.
That is rather stunning.
I know. And you've got actually, as soon as you put the black next to it, I hadn't noticed you've got the black
In all
pulled
of
through in
them.
all of those.
Yeah.
And then you've got your crowns there. So we are very much in love with this fabric. It would be fair to say. We hope that you are too.
I can't see why you wouldn't be, but there you go. That's just me.
I mean, yeah. It was ooh. And we've got some more Ruby Star being launched next week.
Yes.
Just saying.
Just got a nice collection in the box in the corner.
Jane.
Got no room
Got
now.
the room.
We lift
How
the boxes
managed.
up and then you can put
Yeah,
those
do you know what? Let's
underneath.
pop the boxes on the floor, then these can go up on the jobby thing, and then we are almost good to go. Then
Got
for
half metre
tomorrow,
heavens.
Half Metre Heavens, they go live at midnight. Then I'm going to shut up and let Jane do her thing. So we'll whiz through these. I mean,
think
we'll
the
give
big
them
one's
all
not
their
gonna go
beautiful
through.
airing that they require. There we go. Gorgeous. Right, Half Metre Heavens. For those of you that do not know, we put these together for you. The price should really go up because everything's gone up. But
Yeah.
we'll worry about that another time. These are a ½ metre of designer, and then we match it with a ½ metre of plain. Now, yesterday's show where we did the storage boxes, actually let's have that blue one up if you don't mind. You would be able to make one of these out of ½ metre heaven and have lots left over. Or if you had a little bit extra for the handle, you did the handle in another colour, you can get 2 of the slightly smaller size, which is the yellow one.
I was thinking, when you were doing this yesterday, I was thinking our PU might look nice. There's handles on that.
Yes, all of that. Or if you've got leather scraps or anything like that. And also, what you said was, why not put a handle on the other side? And then you've got
a carry basket.
All the ideas. All the ideas. There you go.
Lovely.
Oh, that works, doesn't it? Look at that.
Doesn't it? It looks really
Storage
nice with that quilt.
box.
Yeah.
Storing stuff. What's going on? Right, so these ½ metre heavens, we have got, I don't know how many of those we've got. This is the Dorothy red, but I think we're down to the last bit of the Dorothy red.
There wasn't much on there. So
no, there was only a squiddly diddly 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 widdly bit with emerald. Beautiful. Can I leave you to fold?
Yeah, just pulls out
that's
that
a Philip
lovely
Jacobs
green.
one. Now, I bought these in to see if you like them. So this is the Dutch Heritage Fabric Company. I adore them.
So lovely.
And I would be, you know the Lisa Chandler fan bag?
Oh yeah.
I would be all over that with this.
It would work beautifully.
Yes. Now, if you just want to be able to make a quilt, I've got it in that lovely mustardy colour. What do they call it? Have they got a proper name for it? Mustard. Yeah, no, mustard. I've got it in the mustard colour. We've put it with the duck egg there. But just look how beautifully all of those would work together as a quilt. It would be very right, Jane.
It would. It certainly would. You could have really good fun with that.
And, or, you know, if you had, this is it, coordinating boxes in a room, anything like that. That's where the ½ metre heavens are going to really excel, I think, for you. Now, I've only got 7 of these left, and I love them, and then they are gone. And they've gone with the salmon here to pull this colour of the flower. We had some of these the other day. It's Lewis and Irene, and then you've got that metallic through there as well. So when they are gone, they are gone. That is it. I love this. Christine made me a beautiful bag out of the first sort of quite similar one of that. And I hearted it then, and I heart it now. I've only got one of these. Is that all that was left on the belt?
Yeah, I think so.
And we've put it with beige because it's actually that's in the leaves. This is a Tilda one.
We tried it with the duck egg, and it wasn't quite the right shade. Our duck egg was just a little bit off.
Tilda has very precise colours, and it's quite
does.
hard to match those colours. But I think going with the neutral has worked really beautifully with that. I've only got one.
Well, I thought it just pulls the pink out slightly, which is a bit weird.
Now, what about Luscious and Lime?
Oh, love Luscious and Lime.
Look at that.
That's mouth-watering.
Isn't it? So zesty and gorgeous.
Yeah.
I've got 5 of those, Jane.
Now,
what about your caladiums dark? Jane.
You could have such fun with caladiums because it's like every time you cut it, you get a different piece of fabric.
But you know what, though? If you were to put... Look how that starts to pull that colour, and then you pull that in there.
Yeah, just...
I mean, that wouldn't be too wrong either.
You could have fun with that.
You could have fun all over the place, Jane. So we've got, they are your caladiums there. Again, another Philip Jacobs one. Now, I've got 6 of this. This is another Lewis and Irene one with bears hugging in the woods.
It's called Winter's Nap, isn't it? And they're just all snuggled up for the winter.
And there it is. So we've pulled the foxy orange there. It's not actually the colour of it, but
no, it's paprika.
Now, Lake Blossom. This is a Cafe one. Lake Blossom with amethyst. This is your last ½ metre heaven for this week. But just how beautiful is that? Yes, please. Yes.
It's just so pretty,
yes.
that is.
Just beautiful,
it
calming,
is.
Gorgeous. Need it everywhere in my life. And that is your ½ metre heavenage for today. Why am I not switching cameras? There we go.
There we are. Got a lovely selection there.
Do you know what, Jane? I might have made myself a new little tablet holder for my desk. I had a couple of the 10-inch squares left.
Just
so
what
I was
you
like,
needed.
right, that'll do. Thank you very
Nice.
much. I'm going to take all of this. I'm going to get her Jane's way so that she can make that there blinking gorgeous quilt. Oh, Jane, do you want to show the bag that I finished off as well? It's just behind you.
Where is
So
it?
yesterday,
with the appliques and things.
Yeah. So with the technique that we showed you yesterday, I just finished off the
Look at
Lisa
those,
Chandler
aren't they
bags.
lovely. There's so much storage space with these bags.
They're huge, aren't they?
Yeah.
Really huge.
You've got all that useful pocket at the back there. And absolutely gazillions. You could add pockets in.
You have got pockets inside.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
side
you've still
as
got
well.
side pockets.
Yeah.
And side pockets down the side. You've got
Inside there.
pockets all over the place.
You could have put extra pockets in the actual bag itself as well, couldn't you? I mean, there's loads of space in there. Yeah. Lovely fabrics. Yeah. I love this rose. It's beautiful.
Really beautiful. Really beautiful. And paisleys as
That
well.
is the paisley with the smoked batik is so classic, isn't it?
Just stunning.
It's very nice. Very nice.
So that was what we had done last Monday. Felt like last week, but no, Monday.
It feels like last week, doesn't it? There's been so much going on.
Elizabeth has noticed the beautiful salvages on the Ruby Star.
I know, they're
for
stunning,
John Cole
aren't
Morgan.
they? Yeah, they're really deep salvages as well.
I
deep.
would be saving those as well, but
Yeah.
we are saving them for John. Morning, Barbara. Morning, Rebecca. Morning, Karen. Is that you trying to tempt me, Jane? You naughty stitchy witch. We will
Would I?
discuss this. It's fabric enable, Karen. We like to fabrically enable you. Morning, Jackie. Yeah, the blue floral is very nice, Karen. Let us know and we can always do that for you. Morning, Marion. Morning, Denise. And Mandy. And Ven. And Julie. And Francis. And Wendy. And Martine. Good morning. And Alison. This is stunning. Temptation not resisted, says Alison. It's got to be done, hasn't it? The other thing to let you know today, we will carry on the Starville Fix offer just for today. Then it's got to go.
Yes, because that's a ridiculously generous offer.
Yeah. Morning, Laurie. Lovely to have your company. And the other thing is we have got the cotton bamboo wadding 80/20 back in stock.
Yay!
So if you want to make the most of that as well, morning Sharina and Serena, then please do make the most of that. Jane, over to you.
Thank you. We've got the kits. These are the lovely kits. Look, we'll put these together for you. This is the original one, the one behind me. So you've got
That one there, beautiful.
Yeah, this is your background fabric, fabric A of the willow bough, 1.4 metres of that. Then a fabric B, which is the apple on mine, is 0.8 of a metre. This sounds a bit strange, but we've kept it quite tight to keep the kits at a reasonable price. And then you've got 3/4 of the daffodil in the marine, and you've got enough there to get your strips out fussy cutting.
Perfect.
If you're not bothered about fussy cutting them, you've got quite a bit of extra fabric there. And the same with the strawberry thief. You've got 3/4 of a metre there so that you can fussy cut, like I did, of the birds. And we'll talk about fussy cutting in a moment. So those are, and then you've got a 1/2 metre for your narrow border in the duck egg, and a 1/2 metre of navy for the binding. I think we've imaginatively called this the yellow kit.
Amazing. Well done us.
And then we've had a play with the other colourways.
Jane, your mic is just disappearing a little bit. Can you oink it out and just
Move it up.
There we go.
We
Thank
go.
you.
Sorry, it disappeared.
Vicky said, can you spin them around because they're upside down on the overhead?
Of course. There we are. That is the seaweed cream. That's the background fabric. So that's your fabric A. Then fabric B is the pinks and rose. Is it marine or green?
Yes.
Marine.
Yes.
And then for the fussy cutting, I've gone with the seaweed, the centre squares, so your fabric D in effect, because I thought you could fussy cut that lovely piece there.
It gives a whole other look, doesn't it?
Yeah. Or you could choose to this is the beauty of fussy cutting. You can decide if you want to select a part that you'd like to go in. So that's your fabric D. And then for the strips, and again I've gone with the smaller strawberry thief, and you can fussy cut the strips
Nice.
down the birds.
Yeah, we checked that, didn't we? We
Yeah.
measured it and went,
I
okay,
measured
3.5 inches. Can they fit into that?
Yeah,
Yes, they
and
can.
they do. You get a 1/4 inch either side of the strawberry thief's beak on this part of the bird here. So it just fits in perfectly. And again, I'll talk about the fussy cutting of the strips. And then I thought we'll go with quite a neutral, narrow border. So we've gone with our seeded cotton, which is just perfect, sort of linear effect. And then this is Midnight. Again, a nice deep blue, just to frame it and sort of give it a nice full stop. So that's your blue kit.
Amazing.
Imaginative.
We went all out.
We went all out with the colourways.
Yeah.
And then we've got the lovely chocolate. Now I went slightly differently with this one, in so much that I thought, well, let's have the dark colour as the background and have what would be. So this is fabric A, 1.4
So do you want to
metres.
just show you what you mean by that on the quilt?
So it would be on this part here. So you get a different effect. That would be
super dark,
and this would be lighter here. And lighter here, and then dark again in the middle, because we've chosen the strawberry thief. So it'll be interesting to see how that works. So your fabric A is this one, and your fabric B is the rose and pinks. And then you've got the willow bough for the stripe, because again you can fussy cut if you wish to. There is a wavy stripe going through that, so you'd be able to fussy cut that if you wanted to. And then the strawberry thief in chocolate, which is just beautiful. I just love the colours in this, and you'll have fun fussy cutting the strawberry thief into the middle square.
Beautiful.
On this one. And again, we've been imaginative and called it the chocolate colourway. Now for the border on this one, the narrow border, I felt that it would benefit from having the binding and the border the same. So instead of 2 different colours, you've got 1/2 metre, 1 metre, sorry, of the same colour, the chocolate, our chocolate plain, because I felt it wouldn't benefit from having a separate binding. So my thinking is that to bind and border it in the same colour would just finish it off beautifully. So that's the chocolate colourway. So there you go, you've got 3 kits there.
That is perfect, isn't it?
There's lovely colours.
So, and you can, again, we thought about putting the pattern in with it, and then we know that a lot of you will buy multiples, that you'll make the same quilt but for 2 different people.
I think sometimes we do have people that like to make it in more than one colourway, which is lovely, but you wouldn't want the pattern twice. So
no, it's just we don't want you having to spend that money twice.
No. So you get your pattern, and I've put all of the, now I've put the descriptions of the fabrics for the fabrics that I've used in this pattern, the one behind me. And I've just gone through all of the colourways there, and I've said which one. Now, fabric B, there is just that little bit more, 0.8 of a metre. So there isn't much room for changing it around for what we said, which is why I went through all the colourways and what each one was for each fabric.
We have a very good question from Julia, who said, would the second kit match the Strawberry Thief indigo? I will go and grab some indigo off the shelf, Jane. I'm just going to mute myself and go and grab some.
Okay.
So that everyone can see. Which camera do you need? Overhead?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Gemma's on the case.
Gemma's on the case. So I've chosen the blue colourway to talk about fussy cutting and show
Which
you
we're going to find out if it goes with the indigo quite rapidly.
So you can see I've cut one square already out of there.
Because there's a great big hole.
There's a big hole in it. I always work mine from the reverse side. You can still see the pattern, but if you're going to mark it with a fabric marker, if you make a mistake, it's not you wouldn't want to use a heat erasable marker really when you're doing your fussy cut marking, because
no.
you might find that you need to iron it and then you lose your markings when you come to cut it. So what I usually do is I make a cardboard template to the size of square, and then I cut it inside 1/4 inch away from the edge. So this is like a 9.5 inch frame, basically, so that I can position where I need it to be. We've got several rulers here that are really good. The really big one, which I've left in the workroom, is it 12.5 by 24.5? Is it the really big one?
Absolutely love it.
That was fantastic.
That's
for
my
doing
new favourite
this
one.
with.
If you nicked it.
Yeah, I just borrowed it. I will give it back.
Yeah.
Promise.
And yet, where is it, Jane?
It's in my workroom.
Where is it? Yeah.
So you can decide where you want to have your fussy cutting.
Have we got anything in indigo?
Tonal.
Yeah, it's just so that we can see if the colours will go.
Indigo tonal, but we don't have indigo because we've sold out.
Yeah, this is it's slightly darker. It's not horrible. It would
not
work beautifully.
horrible. Well,
It would.
there's a,
Well,
there's
you know,
a selling
the
point.
Tone, that works really nicely with it. It's a slightly different shade of blue, but it would work.
The strawberry thief indigo's got some green and red through
Yeah,
it. as well,
yeah,
it
hasn't
has.
So that would adjust the
Yeah,
balance completely
yeah.
as well.
But we haven't got any left. It's all gone.
Go and have a look if I've got something else in the indigo colourway because I think that might be a better
Yeah.
representation.
Yeah, because that's the only one we've got, which is blue and blue.
I think it's a slightly darker blue, the indigo,
Yeah.
from the Barbara Brackman, but it would probably tone in, particularly like Gemma says, because the reds may blend nicely.
And the greens as well. It's all
Yeah.
going on through there.
So fussy cutting, as I said, I sometimes make a cardboard frame. The big ruler works because it's a 9.5 square, but we've got a Creative Grids fussy cut ruler.
Iris indigo.
This is the Iris Indigo. You can see it's slightly different blue. This is more of what I would say was a navy blue, whereas this is more of a tealy blue.
Yeah.
It works, they blend. It's just a darker shade.
Which it's one of those things. If you've got lots of different blues around in that room, it'll
Yeah.
blend in. If
Yeah,
it's
it's not
just,
going
if you're going
to-
to sit it right next to each other,
It's
yeah,
still not bad.
blend
You know,
it with some of the greens.
The greens work
Yeah.
nicely together.
And the other colours come through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it would work.
We will always have a look at things for you. Always, won't we, Jane?
Yes, always.
It's one of our favourite things to do.
We have got the Creative Grids 9.5-inch square fussy cut ruler, which just happens to work really well. It's got all the things that you want from a Creative Grids, like your, non-slipping things on the back, but it's also got, this ruler is slightly different in that it's got drilled holes in the 1/4-inch mark. So the black solid line is the actual square, which would be your finished size, and then it's got a white dashed line with a drilled hole that you can just happen to get your fabric marker through. Now obviously we need a 9.5-inch square because these are 9-inch finished, which just happens to be the complete size of the ruler. So it's really handy. Find the middle point of where you want to fussy cut. You've got horizontal, vertical lines and the diagonal lines so that you can really make sure that you're in the middle of the design that you want.
Right.
And then with the 9.5-inch square, it is simply a case of just drawing around. But what we do need for the middle square is we need a 3.5-inch square. And I fussy cut that square on my quilt from the Strawberry Thief design. I picked one of the floral motifs and that just fitted into a 3.5-inch square. So you can do that. If I pick that poppy there for the middle of mine, by placing that middle there in the middle of that poppy, and I want a 3.5-inch, there's the 3-inch square. So I go to the next quarter up and I just place my marker through the corner marks there and then use my ruler edge to join the dots.
Perfect.
So I don't have to find a piece of cardboard, wrestle with that, make a 3-inch square, trim it inside 1/4 inch to make sure that I've got all of my frame going on. So that's a really handy ruler to have, particularly if you like fussy cutting things.
And we do, Jane, we do like to fussy
because
cut things.
and I don't know about you, but when I'm doing hexagons, I quite often like to have a motif in the middle of my hexi
Yeah.
when I'm doing my hexagons. And you don't have to have a hexagon piece of fabric to go over hexagon papers or your hexiforms. You can use a square piece.
Nice.
So you don't even have to trim it down. So once you've got your fabric marked, and I mean with the creative grid ruler, you can actually use the actual ruler with your rotary cutter.
Which is really handy and safe,
Because it's not going to move. Now I would happily do that, and I would happily do that, but I'm not going to come down that way, and I'm not going to go across there because I'm not in fully control of my fabric. So what I will do is I'll turn my fabric round. I've already marked it,
Yeah.
so I can just line the ruler up again. But I'd never cut underneath myself, and I certainly wouldn't cut against myself like that.
I think once you start watching the Great British Sewing Bee and you see some questionable rotary cutting techniques, it is just important just to reiterate safety, because otherwise if people watch that, it gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Jen will tell you, but I've just come in and I'm like, what were they doing? We were watching a professional demonstrate with a rotary cutter as well the other day, and I was like, why is she doing it like that? It wasn't very safe the way that she was demonstrating, and I was just like, anyway, you just have to be careful. And I've seen so many, you see them all the time on Facebook, people saying, oh, I've had an accident with my rotary cutter. There was one the other day and she got 3 stitches in the end of her finger.
My goodness. Please be careful. Oh, talking of rotary cutters, we have got some more of, look how much fabric you get left over.
Look at that, and you're going to have a little bit more than that in your actual kit, but you're going to have loads left over because you only need 4 squares, which is why you've got that extra bit, so that you've got room for manoeuvre to decide which bits you want. So you're going to have lots left over for your scraps, and you'll be able to make a cushion and other lovely things with it.
All the stuff. So the other thing to mention is you all went crazy for the deals we had on the Fiskars. We will keep that for you as well. So if you want to get yourself a new safe rotary cutter, then do. If you want to get yourself a new blade, the titanium ones that we just can't keep them in stock. We keep buying them. They keep coming in. They keep coming out.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now, for the fussy cutting of the strips that you need, these strips will be on my quilt where the daffodil fabric is on this one.
Oh yes, because we looked at this, didn't we, as to whether or not we could fit them in, and yes we can.
Yeah. So all I did was I cut my strip at 9.5 across the width, selvage to selvage, and then literally taking the 1/4 inch mark on my ruler just on the edge of the beak on this side, just lining it up with the edge so it's straight on the edge there, so I know that I'm lined up square on my fabric along that side, and then turned it round and did the 3.5 with the Creative Grids ruler, 3.5 mark there on that cut line now. And that just works out that the 1/4 inch mark here is just on the other side of the beak.
Gorgeous.
On the other side.
Ooh, Jane, Linda's purchased the Ruby Star bundle with the raspberry plain and the bamboo wadding, and she's going to make a patch jacket from the Sewing Bee book.
Oh, that looks stunning.
That'll be amazing.
That'll be gorgeous.
Can we please see that, Linda? We need to see that. Oh, Elizabeth said there are professionals, then there's our Jane. Professional. Yeah.
Bless.
Yeah.
So on the Strawberry Thief, you only have that much waste of your fabric. On the daffodil fabric, when you come, I'm not going to cut it, but I'm going to show how it works. You're going to have another strip left over that's slightly narrower, which is why you've got quite a bit. You'll have quite a lot of Strawberry Thief fabric left over, but we've kept the kits the same size.
Yeah.
But you need 3 strips of this to get, because this is the 3.5 here, and I did the 1/4 inch. You can see the daffodil there. I just did my 1/4 inch on the side of that daffodil, but that means that you end up with, I think it's a 2-inch strip here,
Oh, so you get
That's
one square in the
waste.
middle.
which I thought that you would make rather nice. You know, you could put that into, I don't know, a rail fence quilt or something like that, because it wouldn't go to waste.
It's never going to go to waste. It'll go into your fabric I have yet to love
Yes.
department. Or maybe you might want to make a feature of it on your
You could make cushions
fiddle
to match your
blanket.
quilts, yeah.
and
Or
have it
doing
as a
strips,
texture or
yeah.
something on there.
Absolutely.
Kelly would like to know, Jane, how do you manage to be consistently brilliant?
I don't know. It's lucky. I'm lucky.
Oh,
I get to work with beautiful fabrics. That's what it is. I get inspired by the fabrics. I do. I'm not going to say that I come up with ideas all the time, because I will look at other quilt ideas and adapt them. There's not many. I think quilting, patchwork, is a bit like music. There's only so many notes.
yeah, exactly that.
And
So it's how you choose to put them
you can
together.
vary things to make them. We looked at the Thames, because on the who's this
The
by?
supplier, so this has come from Free Spirit from Morris & Co.
That's it. You can look on their website and there's free patterns,
Yeah,
but they're American patterns, so they're massive.
they are massive.
And if we wanted to make the quilt that they'd suggested, which was beautiful and really did use fussy cutting for the daffodil, was really clever, it came out something like 90 inches something one way and 100 and something the other.
Yeah, it was like a
And the-
£160 kit.
Yeah, the
It
kit was like nearly £200, and we were just
it was
like,
even more, wasn't
yeah.
it? Yes, yes, yes.
And we just said, no, we can't expect our customers to pay that for a quilt
Like
kit.
if you find it and you want us to put that together
We
for
can
you,
do
then
that,
we
yes,
absolutely
certainly.
can. But we wouldn't expect you.
And we wouldn't have many, for that amount of fabric that you needed, we wouldn't get many kits either.
No. Karen says, well, orders have been placed. Whoops. I've been working very hard, so I deserve a treat, right? Yes, you
Yes,
do.
of course you
And
do.
I've seen your order, and yes, that ½ metre of free fabric is in there as well. Guys, make the most of that free ½ metre of fabric. We cannot run that for very much longer. So please do make the most of that. Yeah, cushion, just... Philip is saying you can make a cushion out of what's left over. Always matching cushion.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's made up of 3 units that go together to make the quilt. So a lot of this is because of the fussy cutting, I think.
Yes.
It really, the fussy cutting is the feature of the quilt. The actual block itself is big block, and you could make one block and make it into a cushion. A nice big garden cushion.
That would be the big
Beautiful.
sunbursty bit,
Yeah.
wouldn't it? Just behind you, if you wanted to make one
Absolutely.
great big block.
So
Or a lap size quilt.
absolutely. So we're going to join. It's all squares and rectangles. It's really straightforward. We've got the background rectangle and so fabric A and fabric B. We're going to join. That's a square, a rectangle. We'll join that together with a 1/4 inch seam. Just take that up a little bit. I like a longer stitch. We're on, no, we need to be on the 1/4 inch, that's it. There we go. The beauty of this as well is there's not very much seam matching.
Oh, nice. So for a beginner,
Yeah, it's a nice, and because the pieces are quite big.
okay.
Do you know what
So
I mean?
does
When
it
you're a
come
beginner,
together-
sometimes if you've got tiny pieces, it can be a bit off-putting and lots of
Yeah.
seams to join, and it's and I think this, and it grows quickly
Yeah.
because the block itself is something like, well, it's 27 inches, isn't it?
Yes.
It's a 9 patch ultimately. So each block is 27 inches. So a rectangle and square of A and B, and then B and A.
Nice.
And you're going to join those together in pairs.
So this is it all in the preparation again, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just taking your time with your cutting And, you know, use your best press because it'll give you nice crisp seams and it'll lie flat and it'll be beautiful. I always have to remember the foot has to be down, doesn't it, to do the cutting
Yes.
on this. I always forget, I don't know why. There we go. So you'll do all of your into pairs. Now you have to be careful because you're going to need to have some facing with fabric B, sorry, on the right hand side and some with fabric B on the left hand side. It's all explained in the instructions. You could do them all the same way, but what would happen is when you come to put them, because we're going to sew them either side, if you did them all the same way, you'd have one with the long piece there, and on this side you'd have it that way. And I tried that and I didn't think it looked very nice. I needed to have them, all the seams going the same way. But, you know, don't get too worried if it doesn't come out the way you want it to. You know, you can twist the block around. But it's all explained in the instructions, just about when you put them all together, how you need to make so many blocks one way and so many blocks the other way.
Perfect.
So you'll press that, and I pressed it so that the seam in the middle went out towards the edge. There's no reason not to, you know, there's no other reason than that seemed to be the best way for it to lie nice and flat for me.
Okay.
As I say, there's no seam matching at this point, so it doesn't really matter, but that seemed to be the way that the fabric wanted to lie the flattest, if that makes sense. I'm just going to press that again because I've just caught the seam there slightly. There we go. So you can see now that you've got the blocks facing opposite ways. So the fabric B is on the left on this one and fabric B is on the right on that one. To make this one, you've done your fussy cutting with that strip, and then you'll have two strips of your background fabric A, which go either side. And again, once you've got this fabric cut, you can chain piece your strips together.
Yes.
It's a really quite quick process.
What I love about this is that it is basically a very simple make, but so effective.
Absolutely.
And because it's using those prints, fussy cut those prints.
You're making the most of your fabric really, rather than the actual design. And sometimes you get fabrics and you don't want to lose the design of the fabrics. You want to keep as much of that design as you can, and I think this quilt really sort of lends itself to that.
Now we are quite limited on stock of these, just so that you know, just because of
it's quantities. There's quite a large amount of the background fabrics, nearly 1.5 meters, so it does limit us when we've got just one bolt of each fabric.
But it does give you the opportunity to just grab what you want.
Yeah, really good fun.
Ali F says, it's my birthday on Sunday, so I've treated myself to the Rain Fat Quarter Bundle and the Thameside quilt.
Oh, how lovely.
Too gorgeous to resist. Happy birthday to you, is all I have to say.
That's all we can say about that.
Leslie says she's having fabric withdrawal symptoms. She said, no spare money at the moment, just bought new carpets.
Ooh.
Torturing herself with the loveliness. Would they go with the carpets? That's the thing.
That's why I've got wooden floors in my house. I spend it all on fabric.
Yay!
I'm just going to trim that down. I obviously didn't cut that to the right size when I was making it. There we go. So you'll end up with four of these blocks. And
What you have to do?
I thought I got another one. I haven't. So you will join these together either side there, and then your fussy cut piece in the middle. I think I'd like that to go that way. you're going to join it so the strip goes horizontally, and I like my strips to run away from the fabric.
Nice.
You might decide that you want to have the design of the fabric going continuously. That's entirely up to you.
Yeah, they could all go the same way, couldn't
Yeah.
they? And
then you'd be happy. But because, that's what I did. I made the block. That's why I couldn't find the other one.
there it is.
There's no hope for some people, really. So that one goes together like that. So I'll just get those joined together in rows, and it's a simple 9 patch now. So we join
Gorgeous.
the 3 squares together in rows, and then we join the 3 rows together to make the block.
And it really is that simple, because it just looks so effective.
It comes together quite quickly, and as I say, because the blocks are big that you're making, it's essentially 4 blocks joined together with some sashing.
That's all right, isn't it?
Yeah. And of course, if you wanted to make it bigger, make more blocks.
Oh, you'd get such interesting repeats.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you? Just beautiful. Oh, you are a nice lot. Everyone's wishing Alison a happy birthday.
Yes.
Cass said, I just popped my Stripology cherry. Can't wait for it to come in the post. Cass, you will love it.
You will wonder why you ever managed so long without it.
You'll wonder how you ever managed. You are
be
going to love it. One of the best things we sell, hands down.
It just makes life so much easier.
And quicker. Accurate.
Yeah. You can see that I keep placing it back in position just so that I can make sure that I've got everything in the right orientation each time, because it's very easy to flip a block around as you're putting them together.
Oh, Philippa can only find green backing fabric. We've got a lot. Are you looking for super wides?
Extra wides.
Extra wides. If you
because we've got some Morris, haven't we? Still of the 108.
Yeah.
It's the I can't think what the fabric is now, but it's a nice one. It would look lovely on the back. So there we go. So you've got your 3 rows. Now what I pressed into the plain seam here, just because there's a lot of seams going on. So this one would go into the middle unit there.
Mm.
So by doing that, I then pressed the middle row with the seam going out towards the side, which sort of goes against what you'd want to do because there's more seams there, but that will help you nest your seams to join your rows.
Jenny says that she loves this quilt as it's one she can modify to make it to the 40 by 60 for the charity quilts that she does.
Yeah,
perfect.
Absolutely. Adding borders, taking things away.
And Philippa, I've just given you a quick link so you can find all of those backing fabrics there. We do have a variety.
We've got some lovely.
Yeah, you've got to click on the see all, because otherwise it's going to look
like
it only
shows you the first 3, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, we've got lots of beautiful K facet ones as well. There's some William Morris up there. I don't know if
there was a couple of smoke batiks. I don't know if they're still there. There was a pink
there's a
one
green and a pink one.
Yeah.
Of the smoke batiks. And the other thing, Jane, to ask you, because you probably have a better handle on it than I. The confetti ones, did they sell?
We've still got a bit of confetti.
Still got a little bit of confetti because we put that on a silly price.
Tilda ones as well.
I don't know if they're loaded because they haven't sold for a long time.
Yeah.
I just need to check they're actually loaded, but we do. Yeah, I was watching those the other day going, why are these still here? Because they're really helpful.
They're beautiful.
We launch brand new Tilda, by the way, very, very soon. So if you are after the new, I have to say, Jane, I think this new Tilda is possibly my new favourite of Tilda's
I've
ever.
seen the samples and I'm just like, this is amazing.
Yeah, all over it. Absolutely all over it. Just love it.
So we'll just get that bottom row on, and again I'm just placing it back into the block just to make sure that I am going the right way, and just get those joined together.
Perfect.
And then we'll talk about the sashing.
Talk sashing.
We'll talk sashing.
Okay. Okay. I'm really sorry if you can hear my stomach rumbling this morning. But, you know.
It's one of those mornings,
It's
isn't
one
it?
of those mornings, yeah.
You will of course pin this.
Famous last words. Of course you will.
Yes.
Just keep going for it, Jane. It's all good. Is it less speed, more haste? Or is it less haste, more speed?
More haste, less speed, yeah.
I can't remember which way round. I can
Yeah,
never
more
remember.
haste, less speed, because you don't usually end up going back and having to redo it, don't you, when you've rushed something.
I mean, it's like you've watched some of my shows, Jane, if I'm honest, and you go, oh yeah, look at her, speedy gone, whoopsie.
So that's the blue
lovely.
version. Isn't that stunning?
Yes, and just because when you see the quilt up on the wall, I see the sunburst in the middle. That's what I'm drawn to. But then now, when you put it like that, it's like, well, no, hang on a minute. It frames it in a completely different way. That's fabulous.
That sunburst in the middle is a secondary pattern from the blocks.
Which is crazy.
Which is mad, because I wasn't expecting it
No.
when I put it together. Because I sketched it out, and in my head, this was the more dominant
Yeah.
fabric in my sketch, but actually the yellow became the more dominant, and this piece of sashing created your focal point there.
Mm.
And that's how I came about my quilting.
No, you see, Susan says Jane always makes it look so easy and is very calming. William Morris, perfect for her lounge.
Yes, well, Susan knows that because she's been in my lounge. She's seen my William Morris wallpaper. Right, so the sashing.
And Elizabeth's just laughing at Speedy Gone Whoopsie, which
Speedy
will probably
Gone
now
Whoopsie.
stick.
Yeah. Perfect.
It's true.
Again, simple squares and rectangles. We've got fabric A and B again, so your background fabric and your fabric B. Squares, join them with a fabric A square in the middle and the two fabric B squares either side. And again, you've got to make 4 of these, so you can chain piece at this point. You've got all of those squares to do.
I do love a bit of chain piecing.
It just makes life easier, doesn't it? And you don't waste so much thread.
Aw.
So you're pressing those towards the dark fabric, and then you're going to add a rectangle on either side of your 3 squares, and that's your
Okay.
fabric A, your background fabric.
Amazing. Mandy says that watching Jane sew is calming her down after a rather too short haircut yesterday, so she looks like a GI.
Oh,
Well,
bless. There's
do you know
nothing
what?
worse, is there?
They do say that the difference between a bad haircut and a good haircut is about a week.
Yes.
So in a week, it'll look fabulous. And at least it wasn't... I've told you my Mary Shufflebottom hairdresser story, haven't I?
No?
Oh, at the tender age of 13, we moved to a completely new county. And, you know, at 13, it's tricky to make new friends. And, you know, they've had enough years at school that they're all sort of together. And I was a bit of an awkward teenager. Not awkward in myself, not
Yes.
difficult as a person. although my mum might disagree. So she took me to a new hairdresser the week before we started school. Her name was Mary Shufflebottom. I will never remember that. She wore a jumpsuit. So we're talking like 93,
Yes.
94. Yeah, Mary Shufflebottom in her bright jumpsuit. Yeah, she cut me a full-on mullet. We're talking days before hair straighteners. I have quite curly hair.
Yes.
Yep, that got me the nickname of Poodle through the rest of school.
Nice.
Oh, Philippa's bought the blue one. She says, yay me. But she's an idiot and forgot to put the pattern in. Philippa, if you just add it now, put a little note, we'll merge your order together and sort that out and refund your postage. Do not worry, that's what we do, because guess what? You're not the only one that does it.
No. We've all done it.
Panic ye not.
Yeah. So you're going to make 4 sashing strips that look like that.
Amazing.
2 of them go between the blocks to join the blocks together, like so. And then 2 of them you join either side of that lovely fussy cut square that you made earlier. And that is your middle row that then joins the 2 blocks with the sashing strip together to make the square.
Oh, very clever.
And it is as simple, she says. It is as straightforward as that. And then you add your border.
Perfect. Julia says, large pieces, not matching of points and William Morris curtains. Think I may be making my first quilt. That would be so exciting.
Wouldn't it?
A
It would
William
look
Morris
stunning
first quilt.
on the
yes.
back of your on your sofa to match your curtains.
Gorgeous.
And you know, we're going to need quilts this winter because we're not going to want to turn our heating up. So we're going to have quilts over our knees, around our shoulders.
Do you know what? I've never been so relieved for having to downsize.
Yeah, I can imagine because
Because the size of the house that, you know,
yeah,
was living in,
absolutely.
ridiculous. Now, yes, it's going to be far more manageable.
Yeah. So you will join. I've got 2 blocks here. One I made earlier. You'll join your 2 blocks with your sashing strip.
Oh, hang on.
There.
Oh,
Don't know if we'll get all of this in because of course it is massive. And then you join your middle block, your middle sashing strip along there. And this really is only the only time that you have seam matching.
Wow.
Because you want those squares to go underneath the strips there. And because I pressed those seams on that strip in, those seams on that one go towards the blue. So that when I come to line that up, I can nestle the seams there and there. And so you can see the start of that middle part.
Oh yeah, looking gorgeous.
That will give you that effect.
And I love that fussy cut with the flower in the middle.
Yeah, that
just really
pop
beautiful.
of red there
Yeah.
brings the red in the corners in.
Oh well, that's rather lovely, Jane.
So that's it. And I mean, as I say, if you wanted to just have a go at making the block on its own, that would make a rather nice garden cushion. It's big.
Yes.
It'll be a
Yes.
27-inch cushion, but you could see that, you know, on a nice bit garden in the garden on your furniture, conservatory, whatever. But this is lovely. Right. So the quilting.
Yep.
It's straight line quilting, done.
Does that make it easy?
Yes, done across the diagonal. But it's not corner to corner diagonal.
No.
So the first thing I did before I started doing any of the diagonal lines is I quilted through. Well, I actually quilted down the middle of the sashing, just to stabilise it. Then it's not going to move anywhere. Obviously, I layered it and pinned it really well first, but I always, before I start doing any free motion or anything that goes through the whole of the quilt, I always stabilise it first. So I'll go through the blocks. So if it's got like 12 blocks in it, I'll just stitch in the ditch down through the blocks just to know that it's held together. I use masking tape, but your Natasha makes washi tape, would work just as well. So I found the centre of the quilt, which would be this, and I didn't take a whole long piece of masking tape. I took a piece that went from the middle to the corner across the diagonal. So I did, if you can imagine, I'd got one piece that went across there. Now if you look at this, you can see I haven't put the tape exactly across the middle of the block there, like that. I've put it to one side because I'm actually not, I'm using the tape as a guide.
Right.
I'm going
So
to
you're not
sew,
going to stitch on the tape, you're
no,
going
I'm
to stitch
going to
next
stitch
to it.
along the edge of that tape.
Beautiful.
So then I did another piece of tape then that went across from the middle to the other corner. So I had like essentially two pieces of tape.
Yeah.
So then once I'd got through my diagonal, so I did go from corner to corner, I then used, if I bring the block down, so essentially I've got a line going from the middle all the way through. So I started in this corner and I went all the way through the middle.
Right.
In the diagonal. I then took 2 squares down. So I placed my tape along there and went down through. And this is why when you've got a piece of tape, you see, you can hold it from there and essentially, if I put that together, you can sort of pivot with it so that you then find back into your middle. So each time, and then I went from that middle with the other piece to the opposite 2 squares down.
Got it.
And I worked each time, just going 2 squares down each time, back to the middle and taking the opposite one to the opposite 2 squares. It would be 2 squares up. So you would sort of work your way round. And it's a surprisingly quick way of quilting. But that's, I mean, some of them look like they're a little bit wider and a little bit narrower, but that sort of gives it a nice organic effect, I think, sometimes. It doesn't want to be too...
yeah.
But you can see, I think you can see on the side here, it's 2 squares each time. That's gone through the middle there. So I went to that square, which would be, and then to that square. So there's actually 3 between that one, but it was 2 squares from the corner each time. And I use that as my guide point to find the diagonal each time.
Perfect. So pop some
washi tape
in, and away you go.
And it's just, you're not sewing on the tape, you're using the tape as a guide. So you don't, through the diagonal, you don't go through the middle of the seam, you go to the one side. And so you use that as your guide and your needle goes in along the edge there. And then as you move that round, like so, you then doing the same. And you can use the same piece of tape for about 2 or 3 times before it loses its stickiness and then starts to move.
But that's what washi
Can't say it.
washi tape is about, isn't
Yes.
it? Is so that it's going to be able to be
You can
it's low
take it
tack.
out and use it again and again.
Yes, exactly that. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Oh, Jane, you clever thing. Thank you so much. Let's just have another little appreciation from the top of that one. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So that one is your,
that's like half of it.
that's your blue.
Yeah.
The one on the wall behind Jane is your yellow. And then the chocolate is the other one, which we haven't made anything into yet.
Which I think will look rather stunning because it'll be like a negative.
Yes, it'll be the other way around.
Yeah.
It'll look very, very different.
Yeah. So there you go.
Amazing.
Have fun. You'll have fun making it because you'll be like, oh, this has come together really quickly.
And then that is one that I would, you're right,
Yeah.
I would quilt that because it's easy.
Yeah.
Jane, thank you so very, very
You're
much.
very welcome.
Next week, what are you doing next week?
It's the subs, isn't it, next week?
Yes, subscriptions.
Subscriptions.
Gosh, how's that come around again
We've
already?
got some beautiful sea greeny blue colours.
Nice.
And we've got
Which would go with these, actually.
Yeah, and we've got
Treat.
a really nice book.
Ooh, lovely, lovely, lovely.
Yes.
And of course, Pay It Forward is Friday's show.
Yes, don't forget
Oh,
that.
Gemma poking her head round
Just
the door.
reminder,
Just a little reminder. Come on, give us your reminder.
Plain Subs demo is Wednesday,
Plain Sub Demo is Wednesday.
and sign up day.
Sign up day is always the
and payments
4th.
day is the Saturday.
So the payment will come out on the 4th, which is the Saturday. So if you want to sign up, I know that we've had some of you. Have we got a list actually so that we can email and remind people?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. If you think that you might want to join our subscription,
If you're already
only
subscribed,
open
it'll
it,
just come.
ignore us. Yeah, just ignore what we're saying.
It'll
You're
come
going to
out.
get sent it automatically. But if you're someone that wants to join in with the subscriptions and not buy each month, just have it automatically happen and not have to, remember to do it each month, then the only day that we can don't open it because of the software that we use is the same day each month, which is the 4th. Otherwise, you can buy all of the bundles.
Yes,
we
do
always
them.
have them available.
If you subscribe, you get all your fabrics labelled, don't you? So you've got them as a reference, and that's a big difference because you can always see then. You'll just cut a little bit of salvage off and keep your label. You'll always know then for a reference
Exactly
what colour
which
plain
ones
you want.
And you can colour match yourself from home, which is so much easier. Because by the end of the subscription, you'll have all of that. So that is the big draw for the subscription, that and the fact that you will have nearly 100 different planes by the end of the subscription.
Absolutely.
Ooh. I know, Gemma's just mentioned, that looks amazing. Which is your favourite colourway? Because
Oh no, I'm thrown now.
We were really quite liking the chocolate, weren't we, when we were putting the kits together?
Yeah, it's going to look
Because
so
the chocolate's
impactful.
really rich. But
Yeah.
I think any of them are just stunning. And it's all about the fussy cutting, I think, at the end of the day.
just stunning. Well
You
done,
could-
Jane.
Your cave fabrics would look stunning as well with
Wow,
this. You could
yeah,
really
that's
fussy
the
cut some
thing,
of the
isn't
big
it?
blooms in that square there.
I love that you could make all 3 quilts and you'd have 3 completely different quilts.
Yeah.
With the
Absolutely.
same technique.
Yeah.
That's the joy of it, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
the
Amazing.
absolute joy of it. So next week is subs. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed it'll be Baltimore next week.
Yay.
I know. So I've
I
had
know
the
there's
email.
a lot of people really waiting.
I know. You've had this with customer service, haven't you?
Yes.
All I can say is that I had all the paperwork to say that the our fabrics were meant to be on the flight that left Singapore last night. It should be in Heathrow this morning, and all the paperwork is ready to go. The import tax is ready to pay. This is all the boring stuff that you guys don't have to worry about, but we
Yeah.
do in between shows. And then hopefully, because they don't want it, like we get charged. If it has to stay at
Yeah, they
Heathrow,
want
we
it
get
out as
charged.
soon
So
as
they want it
possible,
in
don't
and
they?
out as quick as they can, which means that hopefully we'll have it by the end of the week latest. Ready to go
Fabulous.
for next week. So that is the plan, everybody. So I know so many of you have asked, and all I can apologise for the state of the world,
Yes.
quite
The fabric
frankly.
is far better travelled than we are.
I know, right? Absolutely. No jabs needed. So there we go. That's what's happening there. And then on whichever other day it is, I will be doing something fabulous.
Yes.
So I'm going to say on that,
Yeah.
yes.
Because
With
you've got
beautiful
some
new fabrics.
New ruby stars as well, haven't you?
Oh! Yes, I wasn't going to say that bit, but yeah.
Right. Sorry. Get the cat out the bag.
Talking of ruby stars, make sure that you do grab your ruby star
Yeah.
fat quarter bundle.
Beautifulness.
I know already, I can see on the orders whilst we've been on the show, a lot of you have bought multiples of this. We will cut it in a continuous length. So if you want a half metre each of all of those, or your 3/4 metre or 4 metre, full metre of each,
Or 4 metres.
or 4 metres, just
if
just
that's what you want.
put that in, because they are proper gorgeous.
They are beautiful. The gorgeous,
Proper
vibrant
gorgeous.
colours with this lovely touch of metallic is stunning. Very nice.
Yes. Right, everybody. Thank you very much for behaving. Oh, where is Lo today?
She must be working.
Oh, that their work. Oh, there you go. Philippa says she's not as daft as she's cabbage looking. She got the download. Ha ha! Ha ha!
Oh, well
Perfect. Good for you. Right, everybody. I'm going to pre-record Friday's show now, so that I can go and watch Freddie Country Dance. I don't know what Emily's going to be doing, but they were singing me songs yesterday in the kitchen.
Oh, how lovely.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's lovely.
Yeah. When they're 14 and slam the door in your face and stick their own music up really loud, you'll look back at their little voices singing and wonder where it went.
I know.
It'll be in
where
a
Emily's went.
heartbeat.
Emily's went in a massive tantrum Saturday night. I don't know whether to be utterly horrified or, really congratulate her tenacity. I'm still on the fence about that one. Really not sure, but it was a mega. I mean, I was, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's where her voice goes. Right. The joys.
Joys of a
Guys,
3-year-old.
thank you ever so much. Please make sure that you pop your bamboo, which is back in stock, in your baskets. Your Styleville fix, if you're making any of the bags or the boxes or anything that we've done this week, please make sure that you whack those in, because the price is going to have to go up as of tomorrow.
It's the way of the world.
I know, but so many of you made use of that. Make sure that if you are in the market for a new rotary cutter, that you make the most of those deals and bargains as well. And then the new William Morris fabric, if you are going for the quilt kits, fabulous. We're limited on stock of those, but what we do have left is available in half-metre form. So fill your boots.
Wonderful.
Thank you ever so much for watching. Karen says, see you Friday. Yes, you will. And yes, I'm sure that you guys will all chat and hopefully behave yourselves. And we'll see you then. Take care. Lots of love. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.